back to the Football Terrace. Hit the like button, subscribe, get your comments in now. We are going to talk Liverpool on this show. Of course, they're the Premier League focus. But what did we just witness in Portugal tonight? 5-4 to Barcelona. Controversy aplenty with the RAPHINHA winner. But I think we just witnessed an absolute all-time Champions League game, match, epic moments, brilliant football. Some of the goals were beyond embarrassing. My giddy. Gosh, that was a crazy football match indeed. Do us a big favor and hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Make sure you are subscribing. Absis is best team in the world. Z says game of the year. TK says robbery. I will say, I've only just then, as I was talking, I was looking up and seen the replay. If the foul from Vator on Yamal is a penalty, so is that at the end. I understand the threshold's different because they try to go with the on-field decision. But my word, that looks like it's a push. My gut tells me if it was the other way around, Barcelona would have got that decision, in my opinion. However, Benfica were 3-1 up. They were 4-2 up. And this shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. They absolutely collapsed. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. They absolutely outright collapsed. There's no more. That's it. There's nothing else to say about it. It was a pure, unadulterated collapse from Benfica. But what a great game of football it gives us, the fan, the spectator, because that was just a thing of beauty. In Liverpool's match, look, I want to make sure I say this in the right way. How do we say this in the right way? Comfortable, relatively easy, no real problems. Just a very simple night in the office for Liverpool today. It just was. Very, very simple night for Liverpool. The only real moment of adversity is when they conceded, and that's because they went to sleep. They thought the game was done. They turned up the heat. They turned up the pressure. They went down the other end. Harvey Elliott, a little fortuitous just with the deflection. But that deflected goal by Harvey Elliott, for me, is almost the story of Liverpool's season. And what I mean by that is, even when they're not at their best, they're not scintillating. They're not smashing teams apart. It's not really that entertaining for us as rivals. Even when you may think, oh, maybe they don't deserve it, something like that happens. Decent shot, deflects, and it goes in. They just have a knack this year of winning games. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. They have a knack of winning games. They also, the other part of the story this season is Mohamed Salah. That is now 50 Champions League goals for him. I don't even know what the GA is this season. I didn't even look, but 50 Champions League goals or European goals for Liverpool. I think it's Champions League goals they put up. It might be European goals, but I'm just going to say Champions League. Correct me if I'm wrong. 50 for Mohamed Salah. I think Gerrard's on 41, but look how much longer Gerrard played for the club and everything else. It just leads the way. And in terms of the season, I'm not sure if they've put tonight's up yet on Transfer Mark. What is that? That's 21 goals. That doesn't include tonight. So that's actually 22 goals and 17 assists. So was that 39 goal and assists in 31 games this season for Mohamed Salah. Just an absolute sensational football player. And I love his finish tonight as well. Wasn't a foul. I know Lille fans, a lot of French fans were kicking off and moaning. Wasn't a foul on Jonathan David. He just got, again, Jonathan David just stopped concentrating. And Liverpool did there. That was like Klopp's Liverpool. Get the ball, you turn it over. Is somebody attacking? Bang, there's Salah, you put it through. But the best bit from Mohamed Salah tonight wasn't even his goal, and that was a sublime finish. Later in the first half, there was a wonderful ball sent over the top And if you're a young football player that wants to be an attacker or a striker, I understand that drag backs and Cruyff turns and all the other sort of flip-flaps, flapjacks, fanny flaps, and all the skills is what everybody cares about. How many keepy-ups can you do? The first touch was amazing. But watch how he shields the ball. And then he makes, as he gets into the box, he steps across the player. One, it protects the ball. Two, if the player then makes any kind of tackle, it's probably going to be a penalty, so it gives you an advantage. And it gave him a better angle to shoot. The shot was the only element of that bit of play that was poor. But for me, as a football fan, watching him do that was amazing. It's an underappreciated skill, but it's why he scores so many goals, because he's able to do that. And I thought Mo Salah tonight, very, very good indeed. But overall, look, Liverpool tonight were just comfortable. And I mean that. I'm gonna say this, and please don't take this as an insult. Comfortable and boring. Comfortable and boring. And I didn't feel Liverpool were ever boring under Jurgen Klopp. And that scares me. That scares me, because Man City, as an example, were regularly boring, have been regularly boring. And I do kind of worry that the subtle differences that Arne Slot has instilled into this brilliant Liverpool team, and we'll add this, it is still a brilliant Liverpool team and a brilliant Liverpool squad, he's just taking them to another level. And in the Champions League this year, Liverpool have just looked light years, absolute light years ahead of everybody else. They've only conceded 2 goals. They've won every single match. And I don't feel they've been challenged. And they've played Real Madrid. They've played some good teams. They've not just played bums. They've played some good teams. And they just look unfazed. Right now, there's one clear favourite to win this tournament, and it's Liverpool. You've then got Barcelona. But look, they conceded 4 goals tonight. And that doesn't mean they can't win the tournament, because all you've got to do in knockout football, essentially, now there's no away goals. All you have to do is score more than your opponent. And you might look at them as second favorite. People always have Real Madrid up high because of their legacy and understanding of this competition. But when I look at it, you got Ati maybe, but actually Barcelona, though, the thing with Barcelona is they've conceded. So Liverpool only scored 15 goals. Barcelona scored 26, but it's the goals conceded. 11 conceded by Barca, 11 conceded by Ati. You then look at 4th place Atalanta, 5th place Arsenal, just 4 and 2 goals conceded respectively. And I just feel the teams conceding the least. Inter are a mad one. I mean, they play tomorrow. They could go on to 16 points and go up to second, up to third. But they've conceded 1 goal this tournament. And I just wonder if they're able to maintain that ability to keep clean sheets. But Liverpool just get more goals than the other sides that keep clean sheets. So, look, it's going to be an amazing knockout stage. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. But congratulations to them. I do want to say quickly on the Ati versus Bayer Leverkusen game. I had that on also. Naivety tonight from this Leverkusen team. They're not all young, and they're not all inexperienced. Granit Xhaka's out there. He's played top level football for a long time. Alonso was a world-class player who played for Liverpool and Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. He played for Bayern Munich, I think, didn't he? Strasbourg Stevel, no? Xavi Alonso, he played for Bayern Munich, didn't he? Yeah, he did. I thought so. You know, when you say something, you go, shit, have I just said the wrong thing? And so he's played at that level. But as a team, they're young. As a club, their fans are young in terms of the experience of being at the highest level regularly. Yes, they got to a Champions League final 2.5 decades ago. Long time. Tonight, they got dragged into a fight and a dogfight when Ati went down to 10 men. Instead of staying cool, calm, and collective, what they did is they sort of got dragged into the dogfight, stupid fouls, arguing with referees. They stopped focusing on their football, because I felt 11v11, Bayer Leverkusen were the better footballing team. They were opening them up. They were creating chances, but then they got dragged into a dogfight. You know, sometimes you get that in life where you've got some yappy little mug that you don't like or don't want to talk to or you never want around, but they're just there always pecking at your head. And all they're ever hoping for is that one day when you're in the boozer, one day we're out and about, you snap and do something stupid and lower yourself to their pathetic level, right? And I'm talking about when I was a youngster and you're out and about, right? You got to ignore. When I was younger, I reacted all the time. And you shouldn't do that. You ruin your life. And that is what Leverkusen did tonight in a footballing sense. They ruined their night by getting dragged into it. But I will say, fair play and well done to Atty, because they just know how to get the job done. And look, Liverpool, as I say, clear favourites to win the Champions League. There's no doubt about it. They score goals. They barely concede. They've won every game. Everybody else underneath them has a slight flaw. It's going to be an amazing knockout stage. There's no doubt about it. On the other game that we mentioned at the start and the top of the show, the more I keep seeing the replay of that last minute thing for Benfica, and we'll speak to Strasbourg Steve in a minute, but that definitely was a penalty. He gets pushed in the back. It really was. It really, really was. But I'd love to get your thoughts and feelings on all of those things. Thank you, Luke, for encouraging everybody to hit that like button. Thank you very much. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please, people, get that done. Sometimes we have to encourage you to do it, but get the like button smashed, please. Right about now. It's free for you to do. It helps the channel. You're obviously here for a reason. And even if you're a troll and you think, I don't want to help you, but you want more people to troll me because you think I'm stupid, you still should like and share it. Get that done for us right about now, my people. Evening, Terry. Like this new formation of the Champions League next Wednesday will be good. All the games start at the same day at 8 p.m. It's not good for me because I have to cover like so many of those games. I've quite enjoyed the new Champions League format. I really have. I felt it. You've seen some teams that are normally underappreciated do very, very well. Some other teams have struggled. Maybe they're in the mindset of the old format where it's like, we'll get through by hook or by crook. Maybe they've come into it in the wrong mindset. I don't know, but it's very, very strange. And I know that you're seeded for the knockout stages. Are you seeded after that? I don't know if you are. I haven't read anything, but that's what they should. If the seeding part works well, they should do it the whole way through. So if you finish top of the league stage, everybody should then be seeded based on where they finished. And the way you do the draws is that if Liverpool win, they should get the worst seeded, the lowest placed team in the next round. If they get through again, they should be given the lowest remaining. They should be given the lowest all the way through until the final. That way, there is an incentive for every team to play their strongest sides and try and win every match in the group stages. And I love that. I think that's brilliant. So, yeah, I've actually quite enjoyed it so far. A lot of people said it would ruin football. I don't necessarily think it has. Right, time to bring my panel out now to have their say on the show. As I said, people get them likes up. We're on 450 likes. Let's get it up. Let's get it up to at least 800 while we're live, please, people. Let's get that done. Lille unbeaten in 21. Yeah, listen, I will say this about Lille. Lille are, and I don't want to sound condescending, but they're a good little team. They're a really proficient, technically gifted. Again, what I did notice tonight watching everybody is look how much power and pace all these teams have. Liverpool, Lille, Barca, Benfica, just the explosiveness of their teams at times. I was so jealous going, my team is literally like you ever watch walking football where older men play, but they just walk? That's what Man United look like in comparison. I'm not even joking. It's crazy. Guys, we've got a great joke here. So everybody stop. Backstage, stop. Stop what you're doing, everyone. If you're playing your PlayStation, pause it for a moment. I started playing something on PlayStation last night. I'm addicted. Is it called Rush? Where it's like five-a-side games? Oh, it's so much fun. Although everyone's got all these different coloured player cards. Mine are just gold. They've got all these green player cards. I don't know how to get them. I'm so old. Anyway, I've got a great joke for you. It's going to come up on the screen. Brace yourselves. You might, if you've got like a bad ticker, I would go away now. You're going to laugh so hard it's going to hurt. Terry, when are United playing in the Champions League? Oh, it's fucking the jokes, man. The normal one. That was you are normal. If that's your level of banter, bro, come on, do better. DM me your address. I'll send you a pad and paper and pen, and you can practice writing some better jokes down, my friend. Shit. Are Yeah, I am an old head. I'm 39 years old. I'm 39 years old. And do you know what it is? I'll learn if I'm shown. I just can't be bothered to discover stuff myself. But I'm doing all right, I'm doing all right. I was playing against someone online last night, and he was 7-1 up against me. And I was proud of it. I got it back to 7-7, and then he scored a last-minute winner. So it's good. I'm enjoying it. But I don't talk to anyone or nothing. I can't be doing that. Right, panel time now, people. Who we got on the show? We got Husam, we got Steve, we got G, we got Rack. Evening, one and all. I'm going to go to Steve first because you guys are happy you won. Steve, you were 3-1 up. You were 4-2 up. You should have had a penalty. And literally from that moment, you conceded and lost. Talk to us, Steve.
I mean, yeah. I don't know where to start. In-game management for Bruno Lage, dog shit. Subs were poor. Took off outlets in Ektikoglu. Didn't bring on Mduni soon enough. Otamendi needed to get subbed off. He was terrible. Alexander Ba had no business being on that pitch. He's awful. There's no need to bring on Pavlidis. It was just the subs were just so submissive, and so it just brings like bad luck. And Bruno Lage had absolutely no feel for the game. I'm just so pissed. Yeah, that's football for you. It can just swing like that. But yeah, I'm still hot. I'm still shaking. And yeah, look, Barcelona. Yeah, we should have had a penalty at the end there. But you know what? We had chances to score earlier, and nobody's talking about those missed penalties. You know, Barcelona with fucking referees and all this nonsense. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, I don't really have words for that. But you know, credit to Barcelona. They had a crazy comeback, but. Yeah, I mean, I hope all of you were fucking entertained, but yeah, you can't go 3-1 up. You can't go 3-1 up in a fucking game, and then make these subs that make you worse against Barcelona. Fucking infuriating. You give away penalties. Trubin doesn't make mistakes for us, bro. And then all of a sudden, he just decides to give the ball to Rafinha in the 64th minute. Just fucking put the bro. I'm done. I'm sweating. I'm so finished. In-game management it's sackable in and of itself. Completely fucking sackable. Otamendi as well. Get the fuck out of here. Ba, you suck. You're an awful right back. I used to like you once upon a time, but he's awful now. Yeah, what that was embarrassing. Genuinely so embarrassed. But
can I ask you a question? Because I don't know. When you say that you should have made the subs, certain players shouldn't have come on, who on the bench would you have made the subs for? Because I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know your team and your squad at Benfica to suggest who should have come on. So what should have been the changes in your opinion?
Well, there was my problem was we didn't need to make subs. Araujo had no need to come off for Ba. Mduni, I would have brought on maybe for what's it called? Maybe for Ektikoglu, but like Shelter up down the left, him and Alvaro, pretty much the whole game, there was always a threat wide left. So there was no need to change that up. I don't mind bringing on Mduni a little bit later for Pavlidis, maybe like 80th minute or something, but we didn't need to make that sub. There's just this in-game management, and Otamendi as well. Otamendi was making some really stupid mistakes and just really, really worrying me. Because he's just so erratic. That guy doesn't have a fucking brain. I swear to God. He's awful, bro. Hate that guy. But yeah, those are the subs I would have done. But we were too conservative the whole game. The goals were fortunate that we got, to be honest. But some of theirs were as well. But yeah, so those were the subs I would have made, to be honest. There was no need to bring off Araujo. That was the biggest one for Ba, because Ba was directly responsible for a few of the goals. So that's what I would have done personally. But
do you know what I realized?
I guess credit to Barcelona. Like most teams would have just given up, brought off players, gone defensive 3-1 down at the side of delusion. They still had something in them.
Yeah, look, they're Barcelona. They play in a superior league. They have a superior squad. I did think though that in that last sort of 15 minutes, as soon as they got that penalty,
Yeah.
It just felt like it was going to happen. I know you made the subs, but your team kind of shrunk.
Right.
And then what I will say, I know he's old now. I know he's about 57.
Di
But
Maria.
when Angel Di Maria got put through, I'm telling you now, I'm just
Right.
saying. Do you know what's
I
crazy
knew he
about Di
wasn't gonna
Maria?
score.
Do you know what's
I knew
crazy
he
about Di
wasn't.
Maria? Unless he's playing my club, every time I watch him play, he's crap. Even though I know he isn't crap as a footballer. It's one of those weird things. If I only watch football sporadically and people say, oh, that Di Maria's good, I'd go, fuck off. Every time I see him play, he does what he did tonight, where he's through on goal. And I think the whole world knew he ain't scoring. And
he's not a left winger. That's the other thing that pisses me off. Make like for like substitutions if you're bringing on Di Maria. Play him on the right. Di Maria's best nowadays for his crossing ability and not with the left foot left to left. So it is what it is. We should have never brought off Shelderup. He was man of the match tonight, or Kokchu as well for the defensive work. But
I get that. Yeah, and by the way, you see, I understand Di Maria is a legend. You kind of miss my point. I know how good he is as a footballer. What I'm saying is when I have watched it, every time I watch him play, unless he's been in the United shirt or when he's against my team, he's been brilliant. But whenever I just watch him play, I'm always like, why don't I get to? I know he's older now. So what I'm saying, even when he was in his peak, the amount of times I tune in and go, right, I'm looking forward to seeing Di Maria, and I go, is that it tonight? Yeah, just disappointing. It's like turning up to watch your favorite singer and they're flat. You know, it's just a bit crap. Husam, Liverpool with the win tonight. I will also, I thought it was a pretty, from a neutral point of view, I felt it a bit of a boring game because it was so comfortable for you. How did you see it though, from a Liverpool perspective? You're on mute, my bro. Amateur. Fucking amateur, Husam. Oh, turn his camera off now.
He's making mistakes.
Here he is.
Breaking news. Anyway, I think we could have won that game by 6 goals. I'll be honest with you. Like we just make ourselves stressed for no reason whatsoever. Some of the decision making in the final third, I just stick pins in my eyeballs. Honestly, like and that includes everyone. There is no scapegoating here. Salah should have done better in at least like 4 or 5 moments. You know, Nunes I thought was okay, but still same thing as well, just decision making. Same thing with Diaz. It was an unbelievable like performance, because performance wise we were great, because we could have scored like 6-7 goals. Honestly, we really could have scored 6-7 goals even in the first half alone. Like we had so many counter-attacking opportunities, but we just needed to fine-tune a little bit, like some of the passes. We just need to fine-tune some of the, just like that last pass. Because we just caused ourselves to just be stressed at the end there for no reason whatsoever, to be honest with you. But for me, obviously 7 games, 7 wins, top of the Champions League. You know, if that's boring, then may boring long continue. You know, maybe people have been, including Liverpool fans, by the way. This is not just like a rival thing. Even Liverpool fans maybe have just been used to club ball so much that anything that's not club ball people find boring. But I actually thought today's game was entertaining. We just didn't really like take our chances like that. We just weren't clinical enough. I think we could have scored 5 or 6 goals. And let's make no mistake, Lille are an unbelievable side as well, unbeaten for like 21 games. So they're not like just an average side that's pulling up. Like they're a really good team, they're a really good side. And I think you know, the fact that we could have beaten them by this many goals is shows like how good our team is. You know, Slot with his rotation as well today, giving Gravenberg, McAllister 45 each, so it's a good rotation for them in terms of rest. Bradley got done dirty for the goal there. I just don't think he's ready yet to overtake Trent. I know this is something that a lot of people say, but I don't think he was quite ready yet. If Benfica didn't bottle it, we would have guaranteed first place and we could have played the children against PSV. But now PSV, you're gonna have to pay, mate. So yeah, it's just because for Benfica's errors. Thank you so much, Steve. You couldn't hold on to the lead. But in terms of boring, I'll be honest with you. I think there are 2 versions of Liverpool. I'm not sure if G and Rax agree, but I feel like there are 2 versions of Liverpool. The version that plays slot ball when it's still 0-0, and then the version that plays club ball as soon as like there's panic settings. I feel like they just resort to default settings. Like they just go back to default, you know, just start attacking. Like for that 5 minutes where the scoreline was like 1-1, Liverpool just do bombardment, just bombard their goal, bombard their net. You get what I'm saying? Salah today obviously scored the goal, but overall performance wasn't good, even with the goal. Like I'm expecting a lot better from him. I know he equaled Henry's numbers, but you expect a better performance from someone who's like that high, considered the best player in the world right now. But there is nothing to complain about. Both top of both competitions, playing fantastic stuff. I heard what you said earlier on about the defense and the attack, and it's funny because watching this Barcelona side, it reminds me of watching Liverpool in 17-18. Like just a shit ton of goals, but you concede. And at the end of it, it came back to bite us because we conceded 3 goals in the final to Madrid. I know Karius made errors, but still, like defensively, we weren't really solid like that. And I think in order to win these competitions, you do need some of that defensive solidity because you're not going to score 4 goals every game. So, yeah.
Yeah, because Barcelona ain't scoring 4 or 5 goals against Liverpool. They're not doing that against Inter. I don't actually think they do it against Arsenal in the Champions League this year. Those teams have been really hard to. They've been well. They have been. You say that. Hang on a minute. You say that, Omar, but Arsenal have conceded 2 goals in the tournament all year, and I know one of them was a penalty. Liverpool have conceded 2. I think Ati have only conceded 4. What I'm saying is, I don't think in the Champions League you're banging in 5 goals away from home against those teams. I don't think that's an unfair.
They didn't look like scoring anything against us tonight, and then they all of a sudden like spawned. We're not on the level, by the way, of Liverpool and all these teams. We're a good team. I mean, fucking awful tonight. Fuck them. But like, they literally spawned 4 goals out of nothing in a half hour. So they could, like you say that, Terry, but like they could because I'm not.
No. I don't think they can score 5 or 4 past Liverpool or Inter or the better teams in the competition. Come on.
Can I just say something very quickly, guys? As far as Barca is concerned, let me say this. I agree with Husam when he says, when it comes to my team, everything is on going forward. Going forward, we are incredible. We can score goals. That's not my problem. My problem is not scoring goals. It's never been my problem.
Defense.
My problem is when it's time for us to face goals, how my team responds to it. And this is why, I don't know if you know this, Husam. I don't know. I'm sure, Steve, you know about this. People, when we started the season well, people kept on saying, Omar, you guys still winning the Champions League? I said, we're not. I said, Inter Milan are ahead of us. Liverpool ahead. I said, bro, if we play Liverpool, we're going to get destroyed. I was saying it when we were on a winning run because I was seeing everything. I saw everything, right? Today's game, there's no way we should have left that stadium with anything. Nothing. You guys today bottled it today, Steve. You guys in that second half started, could have scored 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of that second half. That game was absolutely disgraceful in a Benfica standpoint. And defensively, I was watching that with no side. Bro, me and him, we were literally going through ranting stages during that stream, right? Because both of our defenses are literally the same. Comedy acts, circus clowns in defense, bro. Absolute disgrace. And in the end, the only reason why we left that stadium today with the win is because of what we just mentioned. Our best strength is going forward. We only managed to score more goals than them. And that is why we ended up leaving that stadium with a win. I'm still fuming. Don't get it twisted, Terry. I'm happy we won. But I'm going to tell you right now, this team is getting battered when we take on Liverpool. When we play Liverpool, but we're conceding 6 goals. I'm telling you now. And we're not scoring 1. Because these guys, unlike Benfica, these guys know how to defend. Today, Yamal and Raphinha and Lewandowski were shit. They were awful today. Don't get it twisted. They just only scored goals. Apart from the goals, they did nothing in this game today. I can't sit down there and say these guys did anything. We just played a completely terrible team. And that is why it's just going to mask this performance of, oh, what a great comeback. 4-2 down, 5-4 up. That's beautiful. I'm happy that we won, but that's it. That is where my happiness stops, right? This squad is not good enough. These players are not good enough. We need to get rid of a lot of these bums that are in the squad right now. We need to sign a new striker because Lewandowski is not it. He scored 2 goals from the spot today. He didn't do anything apart from that, right? Yeah. Raphinha today scored today. Great, you got 2 goals, but apart from your goals, you did nothing. We need a new left winger. We need a defensive midfielder, bro, because that midfield, Casado is not ready to take over that defensive midfield role.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question about that? And this isn't meant as a dig; it's a genuine question. How the hell are you lot going to afford all these new toys when you don't? That's a genuine. I know you need it.
No.
How do you afford that genuinely?
So okay, so I don't know. So I feel like people who who are outside of Spain don't really know much about this unless you're someone who does a lot of journalistic work. In Spain right now, they basically in Spain they have like this salary cap. That's why when it came to Danny Olmo thing, we unregistered him at the end of the year because Christensen returned and the contract we registered him on was for the end of the year, right? There's a salary cap that we were below of since 2020, basically 2020, 2021. That's why when it came to like buying players, we had to sell players to buy players. You understand what I'm saying? Because basically
Right.
just to be in and around the
So if
salary
you
cap.
get rid,
Now,
so if you get rid of Lewandowski on the money he's on, that will free up the wages to sign a replacement on high wages. Essentially, is what you need to do. One in,
basically,
one
that's
out.
what we used to do. Now things kind of changed recently with the VIP seats that we sold for the new Camp Nou stadium, right? Basically, the revenue we got from that ended up helping us to actually get with the La Liga rules and regulations, right? Starting from next season in the transfer window, right? Where now we can basically spend as much revenue as we bring in, right? So next season is going to be more easier for us to actually go to transfer window and actually buy players. Now that doesn't mean we can just go out and just buy. We technically still need to get rid of a lot of players to bring in players, and there's a lot of players who are going to leave this team.
But to brighten your news up, according to David Ornstein, Rashford should be coming in a few days' time. So good luck with Rashford.
No, Terry.
Do you know what I love? Do you know what I love about you and Steve? Because you're part of Standards FC. I just know these things wind you up, and I enjoy watching it. It's so funny.
No, Terry. Seriously, let me say something, right? You saw how bad Lewandowski was today, bro. I've been watching Rashford for United. I'm sorry, I am not ready to like Ferran Torres pisses me off.
Scrub player. Yeah.
Right. Raphinha sometimes frustrates me, even though he's having a good season. Right. Yamal today was pocketed today. That was probably his worst game this season. Right. So I'm not going to hold it.
Alvaro was brilliant.
He had a great season.
Yeah, you need Darwin. You need Darwin in the summer. That's what you need, man.
Yeah, better Rashford, better Darwin Núñez.
Rack, I'm gonna leave. I swear to God.
Hang on a minute. Would you not take him back at Benfica because he was brilliant for you, weren't he?
Not anymore. No. Never get back with the next. I'm one of those kind of guys. The Pavlidis is better than him. Much more of a complete football in every aspect.
Okay, that makes sense. G, what did you make of your Liverpool team tonight, my friend?
Yeah, I think everything Husam said, everything you said as well about the game, man. It was boring. It got to a point where it got a little bit boring. And Hussam's right though. I agree actually about what you said about when Liverpool are, would I say, not struggling, but when there's like a little bit of, as Husam said, like panic, they just go back to default settings. And I know that's something that Slot doesn't like doing. He doesn't like the team going back to default settings because that can go either way. You know what I mean? Like a team can hit you or, you know what I mean, you guys can hit them. And he doesn't like all that kind of risk. You know, he seems to be a measured kind of guy. Do you know what I mean? But listen, man, it was calm. But Lille, they're better than I thought. They are better than I thought. You said it, I think, at the beginning of the show. Like they're a decent little team, and it sounds rude when you say it like that, but I don't mean it like they're just some small fry team or whatever. They are genuinely a decent team. They knock the ball about pretty well. They press pretty high.
Mukau in midfield, bro. That's 17. The number 17. He's gonna be a phenomenal player. Watch him in Belgium.
You can see it, and I know they were missing Zagrova as well, and he probably would have added a little bit to, you know what I mean, to their team in terms of an attacking sense. But yeah, man, listen, 7 out of 7. It's one of those games you just, all right, we won, and then we literally just move on. You're not going to remember this, by tomorrow when you wake up. So it is just one of those. But listen, I'm happy that, we're able to just get through these kind of games, and he was able to make the rotation, the subs, second half and stuff like that. So that's always good, man. That's always good.
Yeah, I hear that. And
the thing is with like what G said regarding like the default settings as well. I know he agreed with me. I feel like it's just because some of these players have been managed by Klopp for so long. It's just what they're used to, and I can't blame them for it. And I feel like that setting, if you would like, only turns up if we're down or something like bad happens. We just go like, if you notice, we're playing normal football and everything. Lille equalize. all of a sudden you see like 6 of our players press at the same time. Like
Yeah.
McAllister is pressing their right back, Nunes is pressing their left center back, and Salah is pressing their left back, and we're just trying to win the ball high up top. It's muscle memory, exactly what Gian said. It's like muscle memory. It's just resulting to default settings. But in terms of rotation,
it's also
it's good to see players rested in
I'll
these.
say
In
this
these
though.
Hang on, one second, Omar. I'll come to you next, Omar. Sorry, I was going to say to you, Husam, that's because it's game management. And you guys play how Man United played a lot under Fergie sometimes. When you're winning, it's like you're winning. Well, we don't have to press hard, keep pressing hard. We don't have to exhaust ourselves. We can just play at a certain level. And if something goes wrong, we can up it. And I mean this with respect to Lille. When you're playing teams of that level, you can do it because you can still go up a gear. And when I say you guys look boring, I mean it in relation to, I just mean it in as the most positive way possible.
You meant it in the Man City way.
Really mean
You
it.
said it.
Yeah,
The Man
it's
City
just
way.
it's boring because it's so controlled. And when Lille scored, now I know they were down to 10 men as well. I didn't sit there and go, "Oh, could what?" My gut reaction straight away was, "Well, great, Liverpool will turn it up now and go and score." Within a minute or two, you'd gone and done it, and that for me is the sign of a sensational team in the making. It really, really is. Sorry,
Yes.
Omar, you were going to say something. Sorry.
So yeah, as far as the Liverpool game is concerned, I'll say this about Lille, right? Lille have actually I feel like Lille in the Champions League this season is one of those teams that people have kind of been ignoring how good they've been doing. Like let's put some respect on their name. This team beat both Madrid clubs in the Champions League. One of them being Atletico away at the Wanda Metropolitano 3-1. I remember watching that game, right? They beat Real Madrid. They gave Real Madrid their first defeat of the Champions League this season, right? So they've shown that they deserve some respect. And today, they definitely played well, right? Liverpool really had to take them seriously. They had to give them the respect they deserve. And listen, they definitely earned their respect today. It was an absolutely great game from Lille. And I'm looking forward to see how they do for the rest of the Champions League, because I feel like they're one of those teams that's just quietly having a good Champions League season and nobody's really noticing. As far as Liverpool is concerned, look, at the end of the day, the table really... I feel like the table right now is we can't really judge the Champions League right now as far as the table is concerned, right? The fact that we are behind them and we're so close, right? It doesn't really manifest tell you what is actually happening. I feel like with Liverpool have really shown that they should be taken serious in the Champions League, and they are one of the favorites for sure, and why they are, right? However, Barcelona, we are nowhere near their level. The only reason why we look like we're in their level is because
Omar, you're so dramatic. You're actually so dramatic.
No,
honestly.
no, Husam, let me finish.
Nowhere near
What do you
their
mean by that,
level.
though, Husam? What do you mean?
Hang on, guys, go.
Let me finish.
Go, let me finish. Yeah, go on.
You're like 3
The
points
point is,
behind us.
no, but you gotta let me finish, man.
Fucking
The difference
hell,
between
man.
our teams is this, right? You have something I don't. Your attack is good as mine, yes. But here's the thing, bro. What you have, what I don't have, bro, is a great defense, and that is important to win trophies, win the Champions League. Like that season, you guys won the Champions League.
Yeah,
Yes,
agreed.
you guys went run riot against City, against Roma, against all of those teams. But guess what? When you played against a compact team like Real Madrid, it was very hard to. I know people are going to say, "Oh well, you know, they gave out Karius, made a lot of mistakes and all that." But Real Madrid were not to be played around with, right? They set up very, very well, and they left there with the win. Right now, this is what I'm saying, right? I think that in the Champions League against certain teams, yes, we will have high-scoring games, score a lot of goals, but we're not always, like Terry just mentioned, right? We're not always going to be able to score 5 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals every game against teams like Inter Milan. Breaking them down is not going to be easy, and they've shown that
especially when you have a two-legged tie and you're
there
playing
you
them
go.
away
This
from
is what I'm
home.
saying.
That's when
There
it becomes
go.
a problem.
Exactly.
That's when
So
it
you
becomes a
see
problem.
now where I'm coming from, right? And this is why I said in the
Yeah,
elimination rounds, I am genuinely worried.
But it depends
when we
who you
play
get,
against-
though. Let me just say that it depends who you get. I'll tell you something. First of all, this whole favorite stock is bullshit. Okay, because we are all smart people here, and we've watched Champions League for long enough. Group stage and knockout stage, it's two completely different games. Completely different games. In the knockout stages, the one that step up is the world class players and the difference makers. Let me land. It's the world class players and the difference makers. Do Barcelona have that? Yes. Frankie de Jong, Raphinha, Lewandowski, they can step up at any moment in time. Do we have it? Yes. But what I will not do is do what everyone in the planet has done for the last 5-6 years. Oh, Real Madrid don't look good. Yeah, they lost to Sheriff Tiraspol and won the Champions League. So for me, Real Madrid will always be the Real Madrid will always be the favorite until they're knocked out. That's how it goes for me.
I understand that. Where I'm going to challenge you slightly this year, they've not been particularly great in terms of their structure. Their fans have been frustrated all year. There's talk of the manager being sacked and an imbalance. So we can't ignore their performances this season. Secondly, there's a few little differences. The first round of knockout games, they might have to play an extra 2 matches, which is going to make them more fatigued by the time they get to you. That's point number 2. Point number 3 is that Liverpool are probably going to finish first, which means you will play the lowest ranked team in the next round, which gives you an advantage in terms of the quality. Plus, the teams that come first and second are guaranteed to have their second legs at home in this campaign. So I do think with the new format, the league table system, the higher you finish, gives you far more benefits than you ever got before. So I am not, and this is the difference, Sam. I know you don't like being called the favorites for anything because I know what you want to do. Because you are what you're doing is you're trying to be the opposite of a wall. You want the born and bred Scousers to go, he's one of us. By what you're doing is you're trying to create. No, Omar, trust me. He's trying to create the Disney story. He is trying to create the kind of
Vator. Vator does that with Man City.
Yes. Trying to create this Disney story that we're not the favorites. Now, I'm not writing off Madrid. Of course, they can win it. Barca can win it. Inter can win it from this point. Ati could win it from this point. Ati could win it from this point. However, what I will say is that Liverpool are the favourites for me. When you look at all the points I made, the benefits you'll get in the knockout stages coming first, the 2 games less than everybody else, plus your performances this season versus some of those other teams I mentioned, namely Real Madrid, you are the favourites. Doesn't guarantee you're going to win it by any stretch, but I do think you are the favourites at this point. If people are going, I do think you are. And by the way, Madrid have amazing heritage. Let's just not pretend for a moment that you mugs don't as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, we have heritage. Now let me respond to the allegations. This has nothing to do with underdogs. This has nothing to do with underdog stories. You fraud, Terry. You're a fraud. I hope you know this. You're a massive fraud. First of all, when Madrid play the 2 extra games, it's not like Real Madrid doesn't have crazy depth. Oh, they're going to be tired. They've only got Endrick and Arda Güler and Brahim Diaz and all these guys on the bench. Just random players, Chouameni, Camavinga, Valverde, Modric, just bunch of randoms, right? Like they can't rotate and rest, number 1. Number 2, when it comes to the knockout stages, I think my dream is the following. Barcelona draw Real Madrid because Barcelona, when it comes to head-to-head with Real Madrid, they always beat them. So, because I, as a Liverpool fan, I'm a lot more confident playing Barca than I am playing Madrid. I think in a knockout stage scenario, I would back us against Barcelona, but I wouldn't back us against Real Madrid. Now, the thing is with this conversation, look, we have seen teams that are not the best team in Europe, not the best team in their own country, not the best team wherever, turn up and win a Champions League because of said world-class players, because of said difference makers. City could be that team this season. Absolutely dog shit in the league and then go on and win the Champions League. This has nothing to do with the underdog story. I just know what my club is capable of. I know the players we have. I know the team we have. But I don't think we're favorites to win the Champions League. And it's not just a heritage point. I've made my point clear. In the knockout stages, the one that gets you through is the world-class players, of which Real Madrid is stacked with. Meaning, if player X has bad game, player Y, A, B, C, D, E, F, G can all turn up. If 3 players have bad games, then 4 of them can turn up and win them the game because they have difference makers all across the pitch, from goalkeeper until the forward. And that's what gives them the edge in these games for me, in terms of knockout stages. Let me just say this. One thing that we all have to acknowledge in this conversation is, let's first acknowledge knockout stage football in the Champions League is completely different to group stages. Yes, we can beat Real Madrid 2-0 in the group stage. That doesn't mean we can beat them in the knockout stages. Completely different. Completely different. Whether the second leg is at Anfield or not. This is Real Madrid, Terry. They've played in every stadium in Europe.
This is the problem this is the problem with what you're doing here. I clearly stated I'm not writing Real Madrid off. The way your response frames it, like I said, you'll smash Madrid easy, no problems. That isn't what was said. I'm just stating you are the favourites. The original point from Omar was, though, that he thinks Liverpool are a level above Barcelona, even though they're second, because defensively they're frail. And that is an absolute cast iron fact right now. That cannot be denied. You just don't, for some weird reason, you're the first time I've ever seen you do this. Any kind of Liverpool praise you get, you hate because you want to make it sound like you're the same as everybody else, so that if you win, you can say, I couldn't see that coming with all the other people that were as good as us.
I'm not going to say that in Champions League. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to be on all the Liverpool match actions. You already know this. I'm not going to say this. I will only say this if we win Premier League, not Champions League.
Yeah. All right. Okay, sorry, Terry. Thanks for bringing me.
What I will say.
So I got
Vator, I've been here 45 minutes. Please don't do the eye roll.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll
heritage. 6-time
champion winner. I wasn't even on the panel. I'd heard my name mentioned. So
and out here eye rolling and shit. Go ahead.
Like, nah, I got to clear this allegation. I got to clear this allegation.
The group chat said, join the terrace right now. Someone's talking about you. Now, I don't want to be put in the same category as this fraud, Husam. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because when I was talking about my club and the whole being favorites to win the Champions League, I had never won it before. I wasn't a club that have won it 6 times. I wasn't a club that have had the experience of doing it. And I was also not leading the Prem and Champions League the way he's doing it in this fashion. So don't put me in that fraud category. Steve, I heard it was you. Don't do that again.
Yeah, do you know what? No, yeah, you are right? You are not. We won't put you in the Disney category with Sam. We'll put you in like the Pixar category. Do you know what I mean? Pixar just below it. Like we do Pixar just below it. That's what we'll do.
Terry, very quickly, right? I'm just gonna say this. One thing I will say about what Husam said, which I do agree with, is this, right? You see, when it comes to Madrid, especially when it comes to Champions League, the reason why, and I know you're not writing them off. Let me be clear, Terry. I'm not saying you're writing them off, but the reason why, when it comes to Madrid, you can never, no matter how they're doing in the league, no matter what they're going through, you can never write this team off. Look at them in the league. They're not having a good season. Anyone who's been watching Madrid this season knows they're not having a good season. But you know what Madrid can do more than anyone else, Terry? They can win when they're not playing well.
Yeah,
they can get the W's when they're not playing well. So in the Champions League, they will stink out games and still leave the stadium.
Well, yeah,
with
they
wins.
yeah.
So they can stink out this entire Champions League and win it somehow.
No, I agree.
You know
with the goalkeeper they've got and then finishers they've got absolutely. Rack, I'm going to go to you. They've been waiting patiently for a while to speak, mate. Go on, sorry.
So what I will say is people can pick and choose how they want. Of course, Madrid have heritage. We have heritage. There are very few teams I think that are capable of winning the Champions League this season, but we are definitely one of them. And for any of the teams that I consider the best teams in Europe, the top 4 or 5, if you're one of the best teams in Europe, you need to be aiming to win the Champions League. I think we have an exceptional chance this season. Whether we do it or not, I don't know. But what I will say is if we don't do it, I'll be extremely, extremely disappointed because we have a unique opportunity this season. We've had similar opportunities in recent seasons, but I think we've maybe spread ourselves. Well, I think the results showed as well towards the end of the seasons. We spread ourselves too thinly. And I think the way that we're playing under Slot, which is a little bit calmer, a little bit more considered, not quite so physically intense, will hopefully stand us in good stead for the rest of the season. And look, I'm going to be frank, and I know Vader. I can see Vader shaking his head. My objectives this season are the league and the Champions League. Okay. Honestly, the Carabao Cup. We got Spurs. Okay, we got Spurs. If we beat them, then we're in the final. Becomes a bit of a different story.
It's always the league.
But ultimately, I don't really care about that. I don't really care about the FA Cup because we have an opportunity to win two of the biggest, well, the 2 biggest competitions in the world. Yeah, and I think we should devote as much rotation as necessary to give ourselves the best chance of that. We should
Rax, the truth sayer. Rax, the truth sayer, the man that's actually telling it like it is, He wants to win the Prem. He wants to win the league. I respect you for it because there have been too many frauds. I'm not calling anyone out, but there's been too many frauds saying I'd rather Champions League. You're being honest, and I like it. When City fans were talking about that for many years, everybody wanted to poop on it. But Rax, you're reminding everybody.
Can I ask you a question?
You're reminding everybody. Yes.
Sorry, V. Which don't say who they are in case you don't. You can name them if you want. What fan base is saying that they'd rather win the Champions League than the Premier League?
What fan bases? All the fan bases that have won the Champions League were saying City. You saying that you want to win the Prem? Nah, you're lying. It's because you haven't won the Champions League. Look at Rax. He's won it 6 times. And this man is saying, I still want the Prem.
No, I get that. But the reason why I ask is... hang on. Yeah, but the reason I ask that is this. If I had to choose, and by the way, I would take the Johnson's Paint Trophy right now.
Yeah. Let's rewind the years. Yeah.
But let's just say Man United are good enough to win it. The reason I would pick the Champions League over the Premier League is because, for me, if I had to... Again, if I get a magic wand, I'll have all of them. But if I can only have one, I'm picking the Champions League because... we have 20 league titles, which is amazing. And even if Liverpool win 1 or 2, they're only one ahead of us, right? If they would win the next 2, they'd only be 1 ahead of us. Liverpool have double the amount of Champions Leagues we do. Closing that gap, for me, is very, very important. So I understand where you're coming from, and you have your reasons. And part of that reasoning, when you've got as fewer Premier Leagues 2 or 3 years ago, you've got more now than the Man Uniteds and the Liverpools and the Arsenals. You want to kind of catch that as an example. 6 Champions Leagues is so far off. It's almost like I'd rather go for the domestic trophies and catch up on that first. I can understand that logic, but this is the thing. All clubs are in very different spaces. I would say that most Arsenal fans, if they put their hand on their heart, I think a lot of them would pick a Champions League because the one thing that's leveled at their club is that you can't be considered a great because you don't have that trophy. So I think a lot would pick that over a Prem because they have 13 league titles to their name as a football club. So I think it depends on who your club is, what you've won, what records you've got personally.
And your recent record as well, obviously, makes a difference because, for Liverpool, we've won 1 Premier League in the last 30 years. So I can understand why some Liverpool fans would prioritize that because, people, and it's banter, right? But before we won the Premier League, they said oh, you haven't won any Premier Leave titles. Where you're
take the banter away. Take the banter away.
And then when we won it, they said, oh, you've only won 1, just like Leicester and Blackburn. So you can't win with these people. Ultimately, we just let's get more Premier Leagues, and if we can get the Champions League,
this isn't about banter. This isn't about banter. We're the only club in England who should say we should prefer to win the Premier League. We're the only ones, specifically us, because we went 30 years without a title, and because if we win 1 more title, we equal Man United's total like league title trophies. And I've always said, when I get asked this question, I've been asked this question this season, I say everyone should say Champions League except us. Champions League is still the most prestigious trophy in you can win as a club. But if you're a Liverpool fan and you're on 19 titles, you could get to 20 with Man United, and you already have 6 Champions Leagues, you're choosing Premier League. But the others, Arsenal, Spurs, everyone should choose Champions League.
So if you had 21, you're wanting the Champions League. If I had 21,
I'm choosing Champions League all day.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've got to remember what we're talking about here. For anyone in the comments or anyone watching at home, going, you should want both. High standards. The premise of the question is if you had to choose one. Yeah. Of course, all of us want all 4 every season, right? Of course we do. Let's go to a couple of super chats here. This is really the weirdest game this season, apart from Eric and Raphinha goals. All of the goals are mistakes. That is very true. The penalties that were conceded. I don't know what Szczesny was doing for the second goal. Fuck my life, that was crazy. Marco here.
You know what's funny, Terry, right? I am in such a dilemma. This is why I can't trust this team to win anything. Because my defense, from the goalkeeper to the back line, I don't trust anyone. And it's not just one of them. Because even the replacement is a bum as well, right? Chesney, what's his name? Ter Stegen, who was injured. Even before he got injured, he was also looking like a bum. This is why I don't trust these guys. Now, I know, I'm not saying that West Brom in the Champions League. Of course, is it possible? Yes, it is. It is. That's true. But I've seen too many. The weaknesses in our team is so glaringly obvious, and it's so important because a good defense wins you trophies. You understand what I'm saying, right? A good defense wins you trophies. Like, it's not all about offenses. So,
Omar,
Omar,
this Barcelona team is as bad defensively as the one that lost to Liverpool in that comeback loss. That's how shaky it is.
I hear that.
On that level. And that's why going into that famous night at Anfield, going into the game, I was like, I think Liverpool are going to do this because Barcelona defensively.
Terry, I promise you, Terry, I was not on YouTube when that game happened. When that game happened, I told people, I said, you know what's crazy about that game? I know Salah is not playing, no Firmino is not playing. But I'm telling you right now, if you look at both legs, the better team won that tie.
Yeah, we played really well. In the Camp Nou, we played really well.
No, I completely agree.
We scored 3 goals in that first leg, but apart from those 3 goals, bro, we were dominated from 9
I agree. Completely agree. Marco says no banter. Was Salah confirmed to be? Yeah, he was well onside. He was well onside, Marco. He didn't even need it.
Why is it always the fucking Arsenal fans?
I feel for Nunes
Was
today.
he confirmed to be onside? No, we cheated. Lille robbed. Happy now?
Feel for Nunes today. Salah could have given a tap in, but he was greedy. Chiesa, a need to get more game time. He looked pacey when he came on today, Chiesa.
Yeah, he looks good. I think he's got the potential to score a decent number of goals. I think Chiesa, like that cutting and that shot on the right, it was quite Gakpo-esque. But you know, I can see him getting goals from that position. But obviously, it's whether he's going to get the minutes.
Yeah, true.
Big up Spaghetti Mafia, always.
Get Lewandowski and Rafinha out. Both have 62 GA between them this season. Clown is what Eddie says here. There we go. Omar just gave you the thumbs up. Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. This stream is going to redirect you to A-listers on Husam's channel. So go and support that stream right now, everybody. Get yourselves across. Rack, Omar, Steve, Husam, obviously V and G. It rhymes. Were on earlier. I'm going to go and play a little bit of FIFA online now. I'm going to go play Rush because it's fun. I love it. It's great. I've got a question for you boys about it afterwards backstage as well because I need to clarify something. Everyone who's tuned in, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again. Let me just check. KJ done the redirect actually before I press it. I normally check now. Okay, he has. He's going to redirect you. Go and like it now.